Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking Week 14 recap between Washington and the Packers. Final score, Packers 20, Washington 15. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, this was pretty much disappointing all around unless you started Aaron Jones. Obviously, he did very well. We'll get into that in a second. But overall, this was one of those games where the Packers just let Washington kind of hang around, and they did get the win, but was a little bit disappointing from the Packers' perspective. Not very much else on offense. So let's start with Washington. Dwayne Haskins, as we know, is still continuing to be mediocre. 16 pass completions out of 27 attempts for 170 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he also had a carry for -1 yards. So I don't think many people are starting Haskins even in 2-quarterback leagues, so he didn't do much for you. Darius Geis, who was our start of the week, broke out a nice 23-yard run and got smashed on the left knee, which is the same knee that he had surgery on. So thoughts and prayers for him. Hopefully everything's okay. We don't know yet how severe that injury is, but unfortunately he didn't do much for your fantasy team before he took out or went off the field. He had 5 carries for 42 yards at that point. Adrian Peterson got it done for you if you did have to start him. He had 20 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Chris Thompson also had 7 receptions for 43 yards on 8 targets. So from a PPR perspective, Chris Thompson had a nice day. Receiving perspective, Terry McLaurin had 1 completion up until the final drive, a nice little garbage time drive for you. He got 3 more catches, so total 4 catches on 7 targets, 57 yards and a nasty touchdown. It was quite the play to watch. McLaurin is very good, and I'm hoping that he ends up getting that either Haskins improves or he gets a better quarterback throwing him the ball, because he is going to be a stud in this league. Other receivers, Sims had 4 completions on 7 targets for 40 yards, and then Kevin Harmon had 1 catch on 4 targets for 30 yards. There were no completions to any tight ends in this game to speak of, so we'll move on to the Packers. So Aaron Rodgers, you were hoping for much more than he gave you. He had 18 completions on 28 attempts for only 195 yards. He did have the 1 touchdown to Robert Tonyan. He also had 5 carries and 16 yards, but he had a fumble. Again, just not what we're expecting from Rodgers, especially at home against a poor defense like Washington. Aaron Jones got it done for you today. He had 16 carries for 134 yards and a rushing touchdown. He also had 6 receptions on 7 targets for an additional 58 yards. So Aaron Jones had a phenomenal day. Jamal Williams, if you started him, I'm sorry, he only had 7 carries for 24 yards and no catches on 1 target. So this was truly just feed Aaron Jones the ball. He was just destroying Washington's defense all game, and they just kept feeding him. So hopefully this is the trend moving forward. I mean, I do think that they'll continue to get Jamal Williams the ball, but Aaron Jones is clearly the better back, has been obvious all year long, and hopefully that trend continues. All right, from a receiver standpoint, Devontae Adams let you down. He only had 4 catches on 6 targets for 41 yards, so that's not what you wanted, especially in this playoff week. Robert Tonyan had 1 catch for 12 yards. He was the one that got Rodgers 1 touchdown. Alan Lazard only had 2 catches on 3 targets for 19 yards. Geronimo Allison was the only other receiver he had with a catch. He had 1 catch on 1 target for 11 yards. From a tight end perspective, Jimmy Graham had 3 catches on 5 targets for 49 yards. Mercedes Lewis had 1 catch for 1 reception for 5 yards. So again, hopefully you didn't have to start any of those tight end options. So again, this was really just a low offensive performance for both teams. Green Bay got the win. They're gonna take that. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they're going for. So, I mean, as a Packers fan, I'm happy that we won, but I would really like to see Rodgers be a little bit sharper than he was in this game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe for more content for the rest of the fantasy season and into the off season, and we'll see you guys in the next video.